Yo, what up? Um, I just have to check like every time if it's working. Okay, I think I'm good. Alright, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Smash, and then I don't know what else. So off stream, I started playing. I just started. There's like a bunch of things I was playing off stream, but I just started Super Mario Galaxy playthrough. Just like reminds me of Astrobot. There's like a lot of similarities. Um, okay, I think I'm good. Yo.
Step into the ring. Choose your fighter.
Mm, I don't know. There was someone I was thinking of. I forgot who. Let me just go Young Link. Cloud? I don't know. I did not think about this. Lucario is kind of cool. I just go Ike. I've not played Ike in a while. I don't know why it's such a hard decision. Luigi. Oh, oh, oh no. So embarrassing. Getting beat by a Mii fighter. Damn, I didn't even know he had that. I don't even know that kills. I guess like really high percents. Um, I should play Mii fighter. That's just embarrassing. Get beat by like Walter White. Dang. I do want to play all the Xenoblade Chronicles games. That would be cool. They are like, I didn't even know that it's like a whole series. Like there's Xenogears, there's like other Xeno games by the same people. Like I want to play those too. I never played those. I thought it started with Xenoblade Chronicles, but it's like Xenosaga, Xenogears. It's a lot of them. Pooty. Alright, that's a cool one. 8 facts even veteran players don't know about Super Mario RPG. I don't know why I wanted to watch this, because I've never even played through Super Mario RPG, but I don't know, sounded interesting.
Each of the Axem Rangers has their own unique experience value from 10 to 40, including the blade itself. I'm not sure why they have different values, maybe Nintendo was playing favorites. Collectively, the Axem Rangers are worth 190 experience
The
points.
Axem Rangers.
So why don't you get anything close to this for beating them?
They're like Power Rangers.
You only receive experience points from an enemy if that enemy dies, meaning they fade away, or poof into stars.
That's good.
None of the Axem Rangers actually die in battle. When their HP reaches 0, they have some quick little quip, and then they just stand there menacingly for the rest of the fight. Thus, you don't get experience points for beating the individual team members. The only enemy in this fight that does die is the Blade. The Blade is worth 50 experience points. Divide that by your 3 party members, round up, and there you have your 17 experience points. The fact that all of the Axem Rangers have experience values, even though they don't give you experience, tells me that this was likely a developer oversight. If you're somewhat familiar with this game, you
It's like
probably
looking
know
into the
already
game
that you can
code.
defeat Exor in one hit using a well-timed Geno Whirl. What you may not know
Oh, what?
is if you're supposed to be able to do that.
Is it the final boss?
There's
What is this?
Three, two, one, go!
Oh, can I like bounce the ball back at him? Hit it like back to him? Oh, Whoa, I can hit the same ball again.
Captain Falcon wins.
Cool. I don't know if this video is really for me.
Three, two, one, go!
This guy's beating me with like every character. I was thinking I should play play some Game & Watch.
Your posture begins with a strong base. Thumbs and glutes. Let's tone up those legs.
It's turtling me to death.
Game
There's a particular property that can be given to monsters called mortality
Yeah, I don't
protection.
know if I care about this.
Practically
I think I
speaking,
back out of
mortality
this.
protection is what makes it so
What,
you
why
can't use
is this
the
guy
type of
like
Genoworm.
over analyzing this game so much? Cobblemon? Super Mario Bob-on Blast plus demo. Gal Guardians Servants of the Dark. Yes, this is Ubisoft's quadruple A budget game. I think I want to watch all of these. What is this? Cobblemon.
Hey, want to pilot an Airbus around the
What
world?
is this? Pokey Earth.
PC Game Pass. Manage your own football club? We got
Life
you.
of Steel.
One at a time, please. Rated E.
I don't know if I should watch these on stream. I think maybe I just do that on stream. Whoa, dude. It's like Minecraft's Pokemon. I did play Minecraft Pokemon. This looks different though. Yeah, that's enough of this. Squidward welcomes everyone but Rayman. Every Rayman but one. Oh. I already saw this. You could replay. I think it looks good. Lunacid gameplay trailer. Alright, Squidward welcomes every Rayman but one.
Ready for the next game?
It's like Rayman accounts. It's like weird that this game has fans.
I'm so sorry for being rude. You're always welcome in my house. Feel at home.
I don't know which ones those were. I don't know a lot of these Raymans. Wait, what?
Get out of my house!
I don't know what that was. Okay. What the f- Game of the year 1985 to 2024. Alright, what is this? Family Guy, J.K. Rowling.
Chris, that's going in the show. See that, Brian? Don't be afraid to pull our heartstrings.
Peter, don't you think you might be putting too much time into office birthdays and not enough into your job?
Come on, Lois. It's the one thing I look forward to at work. It's the one thing I'm good at. I am to birthdays what J.K. Rowling is to now problematic wizard stories.
Perhaps Slytherin, or maybe Hufflepuff, or trans women aren't really women.
Wait, what?
I mean, the first two things. Okay, who's the next girl or
What
boy?
the
There's only
fuck?
those two.
That was a bit much. Bob-omb, but an actual bomb? What? Fuck. Oh.
Three, two, one, go!
I like that a lot. She like spikes you like a ball.
Mr. Game & Watch wins.
Alright, what am I watching? What is this? The Wanted Gamelon. I feel like playing some of these like joke games sometimes, and then like I actually do it, and it's like just like regret. I don't know what this video is, bomb, but it's an actual bomb. No, dude, I'm your higher up, and what I say goes. Alright, Seinfeld the Hedgehog. Chiptune? Oh, never mind. I think it's just like a song. Yeah, I know. What's there? Luna Sid gameplay trailer. I don't know why I'm looking at gameplay trailers. Do I even want to play? Like, I probably will. Like, if it looks good, I'll probably want to play it. It was weird. It's like a horror first person melee game. Looks okay. Gal Guardian, Servants of the Dark.
Want to test your survival skills?
Cue music!
Come home for the holidays to Disney Plus.
Let's go.
Now bundle subscribers can watch select Hulu and ESPN Plus favorites on Disney Plus.
This just feels right.
This holiday season, there's something for
Hey, did you know that kid is vaping the same toxic chemical that's used in taxidermy? Formaldehyde?
Formaldehyde.
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 Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde.
A land of demonic civil war, the Demon Realm. There, the Demon Lord Maxim's castle lies in ruin, raised by his rival, Lysenorg.
Why is it like talking over itself? Okay, this looks kind of cool. It's like a Castlevania with guns.
Sworn servant to the Demon Lord Maxim. She attacks from a distance with guns filled with demonic energy and uses sub-weapons up close. Masha, younger maid sister, friend to demon and monster alike. Her whip and dash can cover close and medium ranges, while her sub-weapons help with exploration. Collect items, craft weapons, and enhance them as you restore your lord to power. Search across the realm for the lost souls of vassals and rebuild Maxim's castle.
This looks pretty cool.
Kirika and Masha, sole survivors after the Lord's vassals were slaughtered. And the Demon Lord Maxim, clinging to life in a shell of his former self. Their story of revenge and revival begins here.
Official release date trailer. Saved my life, probably. Cancel! No. Damn it. Dark Pit's fucking cool. What are these weird ass names, dude? Pookie, Pooter, Pukas, Pikachu. It was really just Pukas and Pookie. Pocahontas. My bad. I'm gonna go eat in like a minute.
Good posture begins with a strong base.
Fuck. That was like brutal.
Looks like I'm the last man standing.
Choose your fighter. Young Link.
I gotta pee and then maybe I might eat something. Be right back.
check.
Ready?
Yo. What up? Joey Jenks. It's kind of nice, like, it's a simple concept, but I mean, every time I open Twitter, I see like a bunch of memes and a bunch of stuff, but set up my Discord to give me memes. Damn. This Diddy's crazy. Oh, it's Joey Jenks. He's playing Diddy. Always plays Fox. He sticks to like one character. That's probably what you should do. I've been playing like every character in the game. One problem, like I've definitely always faced using Young Link is like, I always like assume my move is gonna land and then I just like do the next move without even thinking. Like right there, I just did it. Cause like if it did land, that would be a kill, but it doesn't land, I'm like vulnerable. Dang. I hardly listen to this new Tyler the Creator. Dang. I feel like my temperature is like really fluctuating like crazy too. Feeling like really cold or really hot. Right now really hot. Oh, I gotta wash my hands. Just backwards. I always found it so weird when people sat like this. Like front of the chair in the front. I don't wash my. I'll be right back. play, dude. Grey Hulk. I don't know if Young Link is it. I need to find like a main.
Choose your fighter.
It's like tilted.
Pikachu.
I don't know if Pikachu's gonna be my main, but I need. I'm just like switching to random characters.
Castle conquering action resurrected. Gal Guardians, servants of the dark. Your evilness, it's time for your revenge.
Visit G2A.com and browse thousands of keys for games and DLC. Discover brand new titles, timeless classics, and everything in between. Start your new adventure here.
Alright, so this is... So the reason why I'm like so skeptical about this game, like Star Wars Outlaws, is like it just came out of nowhere. You know, like, oh, we're making a huge open world game, and then it just comes out. And I guess I just like compare every like giant, like grand, like crazy over the top open world game to Breath of the Wild, which I think you should. You know, Breath of the Wild was like a lot of adults play Elden Ring. They love Elden Ring, but like they probably haven't even played Breath of the Wild, so they don't see that inspiration. Like there is so much there. There's so much like inspiration from Breath of the Wild and a bunch of games. I'd say like a lot of people who play Genshin Impact probably never played Breath of the Wild, and like that's like the biggest, like it's like a Breath of the Wild clone. But I'm comparing like big open world games to Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild took like a long time. So it's like very weird to see like some games just get announced and then like it's out the next year. Like, I don't know. I'm skeptical, but I don't even know much about this game. Just like I see where the budget went. That's actually crazy. That's so cool. I love stuff like that.
Blasted waste of time.
You can just pick up a sniper rifle off of someone.
Strange.
That looks nice, huh, Nix? Nice.
What the fuck is this game, dude? This is weird as hell. And like, who is this character? Why do they just come out with some like, why do they keep making Star Wars games and shows with like some random ass, who the fuck is this? Who is this? It's like such a fleeting thing. It's like, you create this character for this game and you just know you're gonna like never see her again or like hear from her again, or like why even build up, why even start to care about a character if you're just gonna get rid of them? I don't know.
Can't wait to get back to the barracks.
Checking in. Nothing to report.
Ever seen a droid overload? Goes up like a thermal detonator. Yeah.
Ooh, those rations did a number on me.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file.
Like, for example, here's a good example. Hogwarts Legacy. Like, Hogwarts Legacy was a game that they hyped up for years. Like, a few years. Where, like, whoa, dude, there's this, like, new crazy Hogwarts game coming out. And then it's, like, just, like, snippets, like, a little bit of gameplay. But still, that game was probably too rushed, too. Even though, like, it took a few years. Super Mario Bob-on Blast demo trailer. I don't know if the sound is on. Being kind of it's kind of cool how you can, like, maybe I'm gonna do something from far away. Oh god. Maybe I'm gonna charge you, you don't know. I think I bragged too much. Still think that's like maybe the best forward smash in the game. Damn. Dang. You didn't think I was gonna do it 3 times. I'm just gonna wreck, but Jesus Christ.
No hesitation.
I was kind of winning with Ganondorf. Like, maybe that's a good idea. That smash is amazing. This is close. Oh.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Um. know what's going on with this TikTok I uploaded. It just keeps going up. What do I pick? I don't know, dude. This decision is so hard. I don't know, dude. Yo, what up? Smash Lover 99. I don't know if this looks fun to me. It's like a custom Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bob-omb Blast. I guess it's this new move where you can throw bombs. I don't really see the big deal. You can break blocks. This does look kind of cool though. I definitely, so I didn't own I didn't own New Super Mario Bros. U on the, or New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, like when it just came out. But I got the second one on 3DS.
Plus, LegalZoom is a one-stop shop.
But I played it like years later.
Your business, including access to attorneys and CPAs.
But I remember it was like such a big deal. Everyone was playing it. It was just such a cool time when the DS was out. In like high school maybe? What is that? Super Mario Galaxy 63. I dropped something. Just remember when I had a DS in school, like all my friends had DSs. We were just like waiting for the new games to come out. It's like Shine Sprites here. That looks cool. This looks cool. So I did not play through Super Mario Galaxy 2. Whoa. But I thought I would like play through Super Mario Galaxy and then Mario Galaxy 2. Like Mario Galaxy first. I don't know why he's collecting shine sprites. Alright, Super Mario, that looks kind of cool. There's someone like remaking Mario Galaxy and Mario Odyssey, and that looks pretty cool.
Listen, you want to skip this ad. I would too. But what if I told you there's a skip ads for everybody?
Alright, this is Peanut Butter Gamer. This is like video player. Oh
hey
my
everybody,
god.
welcome back to the Peebs channel. Today we're going to be
They're
doing
on to
another
me.
gaming ramble video. This one is a sort of sequel to the last gaming video where I went over the
It's
games
like
that
some
I'll probably never play
this is like a
again.
YouTuber I used to watch.
And at the end of this video, if you want to
It's
watch
like a
it.
big
This is the games
Zelda
that I
fan.
replay the most. I had a lot of people in the comments of the previous video like, this video is depressing. This video made me sad. PvG, you have such a sad life. Peeves, do you even like any video games? I mean, guys, there was a very specific list of games that I don't play anymore. I probably won't play. I mean, I had pretty good reasons for all of them. My life isn't depressing, I promise. I still play a lot of games. In fact, look at this stack of games that I do love and replay it constantly.
Super
all the time.
Nintendo?
This stack is like as big as me. Okay, well, maybe it's not as big as me, but it is pretty big. My tastes in games have changed a decent amount over time, but there are still some games that I love and will always love and will always come back to at some point or another. This one, similar to the last video, is ordered sort of in like an order of the games I replay the least, the games I replay the most, but it's just sort of a vague guesstimation. All of these games are games that I have replayed many times, or at least plan to replay many times. And let's go ahead and get started with the first game on my stack, Everywhere Road Trip. This one is a little bit of a stretch considering I only recently just played this. This was a game that I talked about in my Peanut Butter Gamer video that just went out, playing PS2 games for a month. But even though I've only recently played this, I have already replayed it once, so I've played it twice through.
Road
Admittedly,
Trip?
not all the way through. I have a bad habit of doing this, but I played all the way towards the end, and then instead of just finishing the last like 5% of the game, I just start all the way over to the beginning.
I've
So I
never
pulled
heard
one
of
of
this.
those with this game, but I have played it like 90% of the way through twice now, and I only just recently played it. And I foresee myself replaying it again a lot. Again, I talked about this game in my recent Peanut Butter Gamer video already, but I will mention a few things again. This game is just insanely unique. It looks like a racing game, and you do some racing, but mostly it is an RPG adventure racing game, I would say. Kind of in that order. You are a car, and you want to become the car president. Don't worry about it. It doesn't really make sense in the game either. And to do that, you have to win a whole bunch of races, but unfortunately, you suck really badly. So you have to make some money and then upgrade your parts so that you can get better, win more races, and then move on to the next area in the world, and then do those races. And then eventually, you kind of travel the entire world, win all those races, and you go back and do the harder versions of all those races. And the entire time you're doing that, you're making money through various different ways, and you use that money again to upgrade your parts and become a more faster, better car. More faster. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. I do kind of have a thing for racing games. I wouldn't call myself a racing game enthusiast, but I do enjoy driving mechanics in games a lot. Add that to the adventure aspect where you're exploring this crazy, interesting, and unique world with all these funny things going on, funny car characters that talk to you, and the progression of earning money to buy better parts to make your car faster. You can really feel the upgrades as you play. You go from barely being able to turn and going like 5 miles an hour to really having pretty good control and drift of your your car and moving super fast. Anyway, I won't go on that much about it because some of you probably already watched that video, but I really, really love this game, and I am going to be playing this a lot in the future. Next, I've got Rune Factory Frontier. In the games I'll probably never replay again, I put a Rune Factory game, and I did mention that this is one of the, if not the only Rune Factory game that I really like. At least enough to play more than once anyway. I have restarted this game a bunch of
I definitely want to play through Rune Factory games. I've never played, like, I started one, but I've never played one. They seem really good.
times. I put it pretty high on this stack. I guess it's not even a list, it's a stack, because I've admittedly never gotten all that far in the game. I don't think I've ever even gotten married in the game, but I've replayed it probably 8 times. Again, this is gonna be a reoccurring theme at points during this video. I often restart games instead of just picking back where I left off. I do that to a fault for sure. Part of the reason why I've never gotten that far in this game is there's something called Runies in this game. They're like these floating little colorful orb things that are floating around the world, and you know, at first you think they're just kind of like background, I guess. I never really thought much about them, but as you play further into the game, they actually are a pretty important gameplay mechanic, and I've always found it to be kind of confusing. I don't even know how to explain it as I'm speaking, but eventually you have to kind of manage the Runies, or like you can only do certain things based on where the Runies are. I really can't even, it's just confusing. So every time I get to the point where that's happening, I just am like, and I kind of stop playing, and then eventually I get the itch again and I come back and replay it. One of these days, I want to get really further into this game. This has always been a game I wanted to do a full-length Peanut Butter Gamer video on, but I just never did. But yeah, in the entire Rune Factory series, this one is by far my favorite, and I foresee myself replaying it again multiple times in my life, and maybe one of these days, I'll actually stick with it and get pretty far. Just look at the art style, too. I love the art style. And all the girls in this game are great. I always have a hard time deciding which girl I want to date. I always like Melody, the witch aesthetic is kind of cute. Rosette is kind of like, she's always kind of been an attractive option. Then I like Miss. I always like the stupid girl. I don't know, something about that. The mail carrier, Annette, is always one of my favorites. I like the creepy twins that are in the floating whale in the sky. You just have to play the game. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I always have a hard time deciding, though. I actually think the game has really good characters overall, which is part of the thing that's the most appealing about replaying it. Sometimes Harvest Moon games or Rune Factory games, the cast of characters in the village just aren't that interesting, and it's hard to want to play a Harvest Moon style game if the characters you're living in the world with aren't, intriguing or interesting at all. But yeah, next game, Tomodachi Life. Now, this is a game I've talked about a billion times across my multiple channels and live streams. I feel like I don't even really need to talk about it at all. It's just one of those games that I get the itch to play every few years. Even though realistically there's not that much to do if you've played through the game already once, especially if you've had a couple of your Miis get married and have a kid. That you've pretty much seen it all. I mean, maybe there's a couple cutscenes or dreams or things that happen that you might not have seen, but for the most part, you've done it all. That being said, I still just can't get enough of this game. I'm always coming back to it. It's just the exact kind of like little sandbox kind of game where you just sort of craft things and then watch them happen. It's very much like The Sims in that aspect. In some ways it's not, but in the sense where you just make a bunch of characters and then watch the goofy things happen. It's a very, very peak game like that. I feel like I'm not explaining my thought process very well. I also love how casual it is. You can just kind of carry your 3DS around and check it every now and then and see if your villagers want anything. You can literally play this game while you play another game, which is, it doesn't sound like that would be a good thing, but to me it kind of is. It's almost like a cell phone game. If they made a Tomodachi Life mobile game, and no, I'm not gonna count freaking, what was it even called again? Miitomo? I think it was called Miitomo, right? Yeah, it got deleted. They killed it because they tried to make it like some kind of social media app. If they had just made a mobile version of this game, that would have been dope, but instead they did whatever that was. But yeah, I feel like I've talked about this game to death, so Tomodachi Life, it's gotta go on here for me. Next, I've got Star Wars Rogue Leader. Rogue Squadron 2, to be specific. When I was a kid, I was really into Star Wars. I still like the original Star Wars trilogy to an extent. I even like the prequels, even though I hated them at the time. I'm kind of nostalgic for them at this point. I'm not really into Star Wars anymore, though. I just can't really get excited for it because they release like a million different Star Wars projects every year, and half the time they're not even that good or that interesting to me, so I'm just not really a fan of Star Wars anymore. But I still like the classics, and when I was a kid, I was really into Star Wars. I was specifically into the space battle scenes. I loved the space battle scenes, watching the ships just fly around and blow each other up. That was so epic to me. Empire Strikes Back. I didn't even like that movie as a kid because because it didn't have like a actual space scene, battle scene. It had like some snow speeders and stuff, and that just was not the same to me. Now as an adult, I mean, that's obviously the best Star Wars movie ever made, but as a kid, I just wanted the space battle scenes, and it didn't have one, so I was kind of pissed. But yeah, I played the original Rogue Squadron for the N64, and while that was definitely a good game, it's a 3D game on the N64. You know, there are definitely some good 3D games.
I think he's a little older than me because when I was a kid,
Major exceptions, they don't age.
like the first Star Wars movie I saw was like Episode 1, like Anakin.
Was GoldenEye 64, but when I dropped the stack of games at the beginning, it like fell over into a corner and I missed it. The sequel on the GameCube, though, on the other hand,
That was like my first experience with Star Wars.
I think this one aged super well. This was even a launch title for the GameCube. It really did feel like I was playing through the battles in the movie.
This is Smash music.
Some other levels as well that were exclusive to the game, I guess. Still a super fun game, and it's even kind of
he's playing Smash Bros. Music.
If you want to go for the gold medal rankings, I never did that.
Oh no, it's Star Fox. That's Star Fox.
That good, I guess. Lots of secrets, some really fun cheat codes and things. If you just feel like flying around and blowing things up without any challenge. What was the code? I think it's called I Give Up. Give you infinite lives. One of the few games that I've played so much that I have the cheat codes memorized. Man, boomer rant, but remember when they used to put cheat codes in games instead of putting it all as like things that you pay money for after you already purchased the game? Those were the days.
Give it up already, huh?
I don't think they even
That's
do cheat
true.
codes anymore. Maybe one of these days I'll do my boomer hot take rants, my gaming boomer takes. Next I have another
That's like
game
one of
that
the
was on
best
my
things
Peanut
about
Butter Gamer
games,
video. I
like
swear this
all the
wasn't even
unlockables.
used, to advertise the video that
You go to like a cheat website and find all the cheats.
Shadow of the Colossus. As I mentioned in that video, I now own the game on 3
I think this game is like meh.
I
I don't
originally
know.
played it on this PS3 version that includes Ico. Is it Ico or Eco? I think it's Ico, but I never actually knew how to pronounce that. Then later I got it on the PS4. That's a great remake, which we've talked about before in these videos. And I just bought the PS2 version, the original game, for the video since I was playing it all the games on the actual PS2. I'm trying to think, how many times have I beaten this game? At least 3. At least once on all 3 of these. But I've replayed it a lot more times than just 3. I'll pick it up and play to like the 6th Colossus or the 3rd Colossus, or I'll make it to the 8th Colossus or something. Then I just forget to keep playing or I lose the drive. But I have beaten this game at least 3 times. Maybe even 4. I can't remember. But yeah, I mentioned in that Peanut Butter Gamer video, but just such an insanely impressive game for the PS2. The PS2 was the least powerful console of its generation with the GameCube and Xbox. But man, they really made some bangers for this system. I mean, you'd never even realize how bad PS2 was graphically if you play.
So I was thinking about
You're
this.
fighting these literal
Do you think
giants.
like GameCube and Xbox came out at the same time? It's like Microsoft's first console, and it's like GameCube, right? It's a cube, and then Xbox. Do you think like Microsoft just took that name like and like made their own name Xbox? Like the GameCube was there. I think like the Xbox came out like days before the GameCube, but like they both must have been like announced and like had the name out there. So that was like a thought that I had. What if like Microsoft just like saw that name and they're like, oh, GameCube, Xbox, and then they just like went with Xbox from then on. I don't know. Maybe.
FPS, and the frames do drop a little bit. It's more noticeable now, especially after I played the PS4 version. But you know, as you're playing through it, you get used to that lower frame rate, and it'll kind of drop down as like the wind's blowing in your face on the bird or whatever. But yeah, one of the most impressive games ever made, in my opinion. I feel like there are some games I can think of that did a whole lot with a console that was really, you wouldn't think they'd be able to. I mean, another example that I always think of is the Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Like, that game is huge. It's massive. And when you compare it to other Game Boy games, it's like, how did they even do this? This is one of those games, for me, one of the best examples. How did they make this game on the PS2? It's insane. But yeah, it's super replayable because it's really not complicated. You find the bosses, climb around on them, you find there's the things
That's the part that I don't like about it, is it's not complicated.
Honestly, the only part about the game I don't like is trying to find the Colossus. It's pretty annoying trying to look for them sometimes. Even when I played the game this many times, I still get lost at some points. But yeah, super amazing game. If you haven't played it, you gotta check it out. I guess it is a sort of controversial game. I know, like, Donkey did a video and he kind of makes fun of the game.
But unfortunately, it still plays like a clunky ass piece of crap PS2 game.
I know some people probably don't like it as much as me. I don't know. I can't imagine being the kind of disgusting person that doesn't like this game. That's a call out to Donkey. I said it. Next I've got Super Mario Galaxy. This is definitely not the only Mario game on this list, but it is one of the top ones that I replayed the most. I know a lot of people don't rate Galaxy as high as I do. I just think it is the chillest Mario game by far. I love the aesthetics. I love the whole space theme. The music in particular is super relaxing.
So one thing that I realized about Super Mario Galaxy, playing it, I'm like, I got like 2 stars, but I started playing it. It's like, this is just the first level on the box art. One thing I realized is like these little areas where you're like flipping switches, like the things you stand on, like that all started in Galaxy. Like Super Mario 3D Land, which is another one on the 3DS, is like heavily inspired by Super Mario Galaxy. But like from that point on, they just started doing all this crazy shit, and I just like started in Galaxy.
And there's just something about replaying through this game that is so appealing. I think partially because it is easy. I think about games like Sunshine, and there's some really, you know, notoriously challenging and difficult levels. Even certain points of Mario 64 can be frustrating, or maybe it's just because I equate Mario 64 with Super Mario Chaos at this point. This game, though, it's just vibes all the way through. I think it might actually be the Mario game that I've beaten the most. Not the one that I've replayed the most, but the one that I've beaten the most. It's visually appealing, the music is insanely good, it's relaxing, it's just chill, it's an overall vibe, it's a good time, every time. Mario Galaxy, one of my favorite Mario games for sure. Next I have another, well actually no, this is not another Harvest Moon game, it is the first Harvest Moon game, Harvest Moon Animal Parade, since technically Rune Factory is not a Harvest Moon game. This is a weird game for me. I used to not like this one very much at all. It's very different from the original sort of Harvest Moon games, like...
You know what I like about this? It's like, all of his games, like every game on this list are like super obscure, like weird, like something I've never heard of, like most people probably have never heard of. I kind of like that. It's like not your average, like, oh, like Dark Souls is the best game or something. I don't know. Dark Souls is still a good game.
Super Nintendo 1, Back to Nature, Friends of Mineral Town, the kind of games that I played when I was really small, when Harvest Moon was kind of in its early days. This was a pretty big departure from those games. Even Magical Melody for the GameCube, it was really cutesy and had these sort of chibi characters and everything, but the actual gameplay was pretty similar to the old games. This one was a lot different. You were doing like random quests and things. There was an overarching goal that really had nothing to do with farming. Now, you obviously had to farm in order to achieve the goals, but you were trying to ring all these bells that, so you could like call the gods or whatever, the harvest goddess and revive her or something, so everybody's life could stop sucking. The story makes no sense, but you know, it makes sense in the context of the game. But once I replayed it again and gave it more of a shot for my Peanut Butter Gamer video way back in the day, I realized just how great this game actually is. It's one of those kinds of games where the more you play it, the better it gets. And I guess admittedly, I do just have an attachment to it because of the good memories of making that video. It was always one of my favorite earlier more Peanut Butter Gamer videos that I did. And I guess for all those reasons, I just love coming back to it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the actual parade. I mean, that's why it's called Harvest Moon Animal Parade. You're trying to find these animals. It's another one of the side quests where the ringleader of the parade loses all of his animals. How does one even do that? I don't know. And he's gonna keep his job. We need some accountability around here, honestly. But it's one of the cool progression aspects of the game. Normally in Harvest Moon, you do have these sort of progression aspects where you're trying to upgrade your tools and things so you can do your farming better. This game has all of that, but it also has stuff like finding the animals. Once you find the animals, it unlocks sort of like fast travels for you. And the world in the game is very large, so having these and unlocking these fast travels is actually huge. That feeling of progression is one of my favorite things in games, and a lot of games have some sort of progression, but other games are like all about the progression. Harvest Moon is kind of all about hitting those progressive milestones and trying to, you know, spend money so you can make more money and achieve this goal so you can achieve this goal faster and like stuff like that. I really enjoy that sort of management aspect of these kinds of games.
Like, I've never even heard of Harvest Moon Animal Parade.
To spend it on. I love that. So it's got the addicting gameplay. It's got a cute, fun atmosphere. I've got the nostalgia for it. I'm always coming back to this game. It's such a treat. I'm wanting to play it again just talking about it. Next, I've got sort of 2-in-1 here. I have Final Fight 2 and Contra 3, The Alien Wars for the Super Nintendo. These were the two games that me and my brother replayed the most when we were young. We always were looking for games we could both play at the same time, the 2-player at a time games. I feel like I may have talked about these at some point in a different video. I think it was the games I loved growing up.
This is
I haven't
probably
played them a
nice.
whole lot recently, but even within the past 5 years, I picked these games up. Mostly I'm including these because of just how many times me and my brother played through them when we were kids. Like, I don't know, 20, 30 times maybe? I'm not even sure. And that's only counting the times that we actually got all the way through.
I played
really great. I'll listen to the music all the
a game like that on the Super Nintendo that I played over and over was Turtles in Time, like the Ninja Turtles game. Played that a lot, definitely.
going through and listening, especially when I'm doing something like hard work, like mowing the lawn or something. I just put on that Final Fight 2 music. It's better if you hear the real thing. Just gets my blood pumping. I gotta mow all the grass. Oh my god. It's a great soundtrack. Super nostalgic for it. I'm wanting to replay all these games now. I want to like stop recording this so I can play some freaking games. Dude, speaking of good music, one of the best songs in video game history. Pilot Wings Resort, the glider theme.
I've never played any of these.
Hell, that's a good one. But yeah, another game that's great to replay just to hear the music for sure, but I also really like the gameplay. Have a lot of nostalgia for this as well. I remember being at GameStop with JonTron back in the day when we lived together for like 6 months. We went to the 3DS launch, we got our 3DSs, and I ended up liking Pilot Wings a lot more than I was expecting. I really like Woohoo Island for one thing, so basically any game that has Woohoo Island in it, I love it. But this game in particular was great because you got to fly across and see everything in the island. I really love the free flight mode as well. That's the thing that I go back to the most these days. I've talked about that a little bit in videos before, but yeah, super nostalgic for this game. It's another game that's just a complete vibe, from the music to the graphics to the nostalgia. It's got it all when it comes to replayability for me. Next, I've got a game that I have played, oh my god, so many times. Katamari Damacy! I'm realizing a theme of these games that I replay a lot. They almost all have really good music. I feel like everybody has a certain select few games where you could replay it just to listen to the soundtrack again, if nothing
Kid
else.
Icarus Uprising, so good.
Like Katamari Damacy does. I first discovered this game from the TV show X-Play that used to be on TV with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
And its colorful explosion of bad music.
I used to watch this too.
Ducks and what the hell is that panda doing?
Was one of the inspirations, the main inspirations for me starting even making videos about video games on the internet way back in the day. We won't talk about how long ago it was. And this is one of the games that they reviewed that just blew my mind. I knew I had to try it. It was this crazy, over-the-top, weird Japanese game. I remember they gave it a 5 out of 5.
We give it a 4 out of 5.
And I was super in the mood for this kind of weird, strange Japanese game. I'd kind of just started getting into anime as a teenager as well. So anything that was kind of unapologetically weird Japanese kind of stuff, I was very into it. But yeah, as far as replayability, it's just super addicting. I mean, the rolling up mechanic, it never gets old to me. I really love the long
I started playing this, but like recently, and
trying to get bigger, then you leave that area.
it's like a relaxing game.
You come back like 20 minutes later and roll up the initial place you were in for 10 minutes in like 5 seconds. It's so satisfying. And the cutscenes are super trippy and funny as well. I would always be motivated to play through the next few levels so I could see another cutscene of those kids saying some weird shit. Great game, lots of nostalgia. I'll probably play it 20 more times in my life if I'm lucky enough to live long enough to do it. Next I have Grand Theft Auto 5. Now I played through Grand Theft Auto 4 a handful of times as well, but I played Grand Theft Auto 5 probably the most. I mean, this is, I think, a best-selling game of all time. So
I think GTA 4 I played the most.
Because it's another
just because of my
game that
childhood.
I have replayed
It's like the
so many
time.
times just because I start over from the beginning again. I have never played the multiplayer. I know it has a pretty booming multiplayer scene. I've never was interested in that. I just like to play the single player mode, and I get really invested every single time. I think I'm gonna beat it this time. I'm gonna beat it for sure. And then I remember how freaking long these games are. It's Grand Theft Auto 4 also. These games are so long. How does anybody stick with these games long enough to beat them?
I've
It's
never
insane.
beaten
And
a
eventually
Grand
I
Theft
fall
Auto
off,
game.
And then I'll get the itch in a couple years to play another Grand Theft Auto game again, and I'll pick it back up. And I was like, oh, I can't even remember what I was doing. I'll just start over, and I'll just keep doing that forever. I'll probably.
So the way I played GTA, I think a lot of people were like this. It's like you just like run around, try to get a bunch of stars, and like run from the cops, and just like not even do missions. This was when I was little, at least. I just like didn't even do missions. I just had fun just running from the cops, like shooting people and just playing it like that.
Probably never beat it. One thing I specifically liked about Grand Theft Auto 5 was the 3 different playable characters. What are their names again? Trevor, Michael, and the motorcycle guy. What? I can't remember his name. I liked that they were so different as characters. I'm always torn when I play Grand Theft Auto games if I want to be like a sort of chill guy, just driving the speed limit, like, you know, not killing anyone, just playing nice, only killing people if I have to for the story missions, or just going batshit insane and murdering everybody. Like, because it's kind of immersion breaking for the storyline if you're, you know, constantly killing people all the time. It's a big thing about Red Dead Redemption that bothered me. It's like you're supposed to be this kind of like mostly good guy, but you're just murdering people everywhere.
You just killed a kid? You can kill kids in this game?
This game solved that problem for me. I can still kind of roleplay through as I play, because based on who I'm playing, I play differently. If I'm playing as Franklin, I mean, he's kind of a speed demon, you know, with his motorcycle or whatever, so I can still drive fast and have fun, but, you know, I don't kill anybody. Franklin doesn't just randomly kill people. But if I'm feeling violent, I can switch over to Trevor and just go insane and just be crazy. And it's still like, oh, well, that's what he would do, so it doesn't feel like I'm breaking the immersion of the roleplay of the story. And then with Michael, it's kind of somewhere in between. But yeah, super fun, super addicting. Eventually, Grand Theft Auto games do get a little boring to me after like 40 hours or whatever. You know,
I definitely didn't play it like
It's a
that.
little boring after 40 hours, and then I never finish. One of these days, I'll play through it from the start again, and I'll beat it, maybe. But I'll definitely play it a bunch of times again. Next, another Harvest Moon game! Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. This is another one that I wasn't crazy about when it came out, but when I gave it more time, over time, I eventually sort of fell in love with it. Again, admittedly, after I did a video on it on my Peanut Butter Gamer channel, another one of my favorite videos. I always loved doing the Harvest Moon videos. I really like how different this one is to other games. Other Harvest Moon games are more about getting married, and while you do get married in this game, it's more about having a child. You get married after the first year no matter what. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you don't get married after the first year, you just lose. Yeah, there's only 3 bachelorettes.
I don't think I've ever gotten married in a game.
Have to start over.
Maybe I
It's
should
almost just as bad. Your son
play
will
this
actually
one.
grow up, and he'll be slightly different based on your experiences. I don't remember exactly what it has to do with. I think based on the people that you're friends with, they might have like a different personality, basically. So I really like that aspect of it. I also like the actual gameplay. The sort of farming mechanics are different in a lot of ways. Like, it's a little bit more realistic with the cattle and stuff. You actually have to get your cows pregnant in order to get them to have milk, to lactate. You can do seed breeding and other things like that. Those are the 2 things that I think make it stand out a lot from the other Harvest Moon games. And I also just like the sort of Forget-Me-Not Valley. I love the whole chill, super small town vibe. One of my top go-tos for replaying Harvest Moon games. That and Friends of Mineral Town, which for some reason I don't have on here, I don't think. So I probably should have, but oh well. I'm not gonna go get it now. Just to consider this an honorary mention for Friends of Mineral Town / Back to Nature. Next, Super Mario RPG. I grabbed the Switch version, but I also have the Super Nintendo version. I honestly don't have a huge preference. I probably would prefer the original if I had to pick between the two, but the remake was really good as well. I don't even really have any complaints about it at all. But yeah, I've talked about it before as well in my games that I
The
love growing
fuck?
up.
There's an ad for this game
Fun RPG. I don't play a lot of RPGs, but
on
I
the
was
screen.
always into Mario RPGs specifically. I love the humor of the game. The characters are fun. It was always really fun to, as a kid, especially, to see the different Mario characters interacting in ways that weren't just the simplistic platformer like Mario saving Princess from Bowser. Like, they actually seem like real characters with real personality, and it's fun to see Mario and crew team up with Bowser to take
So
on
me
some
again,
insane-
I think he's like a few years older than me. Like for me, I played Paper Mario when I was little. Like that was my first. I didn't have Super Mario RPG. I didn't play this until like years later. I didn't even know like this is where it started before Paper Mario. But Paper Mario was like that game for me.
like Final Fantasy-esque villain. The giant talking sword. I don't even think I could tell you how many times I've played through this game. Yeah, it's a lot though. It's a lot. And it'll be a lot more in the future, I'm sure. Next, Majora's Mask. 3DS or N64 version. I'd probably have to go with the N64 version. There's some things about the remake. We've been over this before.
Yeah.
Some things about the remake that are just really bother me. Overall, the remake is excellent, just with some fatal flaws. But yeah, this was my favorite.
You know what was cool about this game? Majora's Mask for the 3DS. This was like the fans wanted it. And this is like a few games. Is it called like Operation? It's called like Operation Moonfall, right? It was a thing. Like people wanted Majora because we had Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and there was no plans to make Majora's Mask, but like enough people just wanted it, and there's this thing called Operation Moonfall. It's like put Majora's Mask on the 3DS, and then they did it. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. I think a few other games happened like that too. Fan campaign, petitioning, and it's weird because like why did they never localize Mother 3 if like that is such like that's like one of the most requested things is like you can just like go and you can find like an English translation, like fan translation of Mother 3, but that's like the most requested game, Mother 3. Bring that to US, like English translated. Do this, which is cool. Look, fan campaign petitioning Nintendo remake for the 3DS, much like Ocarina of Time was remade as Ocarina of Time 3D. It was founded in 2011, right? And like I was one of the like I wanted this. And then it was finally announced in 2014. So for like 3 years, people were like, we want this. And then they're like, okay, we're doing it. And then it released in 2015, ending the petition. Kinda sick.
Game for a very, very, very long time. It's still
So I was thinking about like this video.
Number 2 now, or it's at least my second favorite Zelda game now. Realistically, this might be the game that I have played through the most.
I played like
go through, especially
when I was little. I played like what's it called? Harry Potter game for like. It seems like Hogwarts Legacy is like the first big Harry Potter game, but there's been like a bunch. There's been so many Harry Potter games. And I was thinking about playing Hogwarts Legacy and also playing like all these other Harry Potter games, like maybe some other ones. Maybe I'll add that to my list. Like I played the first movie game. What was it called? Sorcerer's Stone game. And I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool when I was little. But it was definitely like, it was weird because in that game, they probably had to make, like, there was no spells. There was like three or four spells like in the first movie. Maybe there was more in the book, but like, I don't know if I read the whole book. I might have. I feel like I read like 4 of the books or something. I'm definitely not like a big reader, but like, you're like casting spells in the first Harry Potter game that like were not in the movie, like Flipendo. There's like some weird spells I've never heard of.
I've beaten this game more times than
Probably
I
had to put them in there for like the gameplay.
Don't always get all the way through. I pretty much always play all the way through this game. It should have been higher, honestly. But yeah, I've talked about Majora's Mask a million times. You know what Majora's Mask is. You've heard me talk about Majora's Mask. It's dark. It's the Dark Zelda game. Did you know that? Did you know that it's so dark, depressing. Yeah, Majora's Mask. That was a very generic way people would talk about Majora's
It's the first Zelda game.
I was guilty of that as well. Another game we've talked about before, Animal Crossing, the original GameCube in particular, although I've also become more fond of the Wii version, City Folk, recently. I played this game so many times, and I have erased towns. I've destroyed entire villages of people because I'm a savage person with no moral compass, simply just because I feel like restarting again. I've mentioned other games are a vibe. This is probably the vibiest of vibes when it comes to the games on this list. Another game I'll turn on just to hear the music, listen to my little villagers walk around next to me, kicking some ball or something, living their stupid, pointless lives. They exist sheerly for my amusement.
Alright, is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on this list?
In the original Animal
Or
Crossing,
any Sonic game?
especially if you compare it to the new one. Oh my god. You move in, the town's just there. You don't have to build anything, you don't have to make anyone come. It just
I noticed this like change.
grows just Animal Crossing especially.
It's like one of the YouTubers that like puts all their games on display. I noticed like they've all started like turning them to face the camera. It used to be like just like shelves of like games from the side, but I guess you can see the art at display.
You move in, the town's just there. You don't have to build anything. You don't have to make anyone come. It just already exists, and it grows as you live there. In fact, you can get way more villagers in this game than I think any other Animal Crossing game. So the longer you play, the more rewarding it gets, and the more lively your town will get. But yeah, lots of stuff to collect. I love starting to collect the bugs over again, collect all the fish.
What the fuck? Damn. Alright, I'm gonna BRB. So I don't know like what I should do about my stream. Thinking about like trying something else. I don't know. Maybe making a game. Just what I'm thinking right now.
Fish over again, starting the museum from fresh, and then working it through has always been one of my favorite things to do in these games. There's even some sense of like gambling to it, like what villagers am I gonna get when I start over? I love that. That's one of the things I'm most excited about every single time. Again, who knows what villagers you're gonna get in the new one? When I guess you start with like 2 guys, but I don't know. It's just not the same anymore, man. Take me back
It's
to the
not.
classic game, please. We can keep the
Exactly.
nice graphics for the Switch version, but I just want it to be like this again. I want to be a nobody, please. I've replayed this game so many times. In fact, I'm literally about to start.
This
a new
game was
file tonight. I was
amazing.
actually about to hook up the GameCube to a CRTV we have in the living room, so me and my wife could start a new file. So I'm literally replaying it again today.
So this was my first YouTube video. It was like kind of controversial, but it was like basically I was so excited for the new Animal Crossing that I replayed the other ones. Like I played the GameCube one, played Wild Worlds on the 3DS. I might have even like played some City Folk on the Wii. But I definitely had like more fun with those games than I ever did with the new Animal Crossing. Maybe it was about like who I was with too.
Hey everybody, I'm back. I
Like I had this friend who like, that is sad as hell. I had this friend who like came over and showed his Animal Crossing save. Like I think he brought his memory card, and he was like so crazy at the game. Like I've never been there. I've never gotten to that level in any of the games. He had so many bells. Yet like the floor in his house was covered in like 30,000 bells everywhere. He just had so much money. He like completed the game. I never completed the game, I don't think. And he said the way he did it was turnips. And I still
left. I
never
don't
did
think
that.
I even said goodbye. That was pretty cruel of me, honestly. It was getting a little bit late last night. I had to put my daughter to bed, and my throat was starting to get a little sore from talking too much and too loudly, as I tend to do. Sorry, by the way. But let us continue with this stack of games here. Next, I have Mass Effect. Obviously, not just Mass Effect, but Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. I apparently do not own an actual physical copy of Mass Effect 3. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. The Mass Effect trilogy has been one of my favorite games for a long time. In fact, I remember I put it
I don't know if I don't get it.
favorite games list forever ago on my Peanut Butter Gaming channel.
I didn't play it when it came out, and then I played it. I got like some deal, or maybe it was free on Epic Games or something like years later. And I just started up, I didn't play enough, but I just started up the game. And it was like more of a shooting game than an RPG. I just didn't really understand
I'm sure
it.
that list is a little dated at this point. I mean, My Summer Car should be on there, for one thing. Honestly, I'd love to redo that list at some point. Go over my favorite lists, favorite games again. Maybe I'll do it on this channel at some point. We'll see. Let me know if you want to see that. But one game I know for sure would still be on there would be the Mass Effect.
What is this
trilogy.
game?
I remember picking up Mass Effect on a whim, I want to say. Oh, no, I'm misremembering that. It was I'm old. It was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic that I picked up on a whim, and then that kind of got me onto the BioWare RPG, the classic BioWare RPG. And so I pre-ordered. I remember going to a GameStop fairly far
Never
away
played
from
that
here to
game.
pick up Mass Effect, and it really
Started
lived
it.
up to my expectations. In particular, Mass Effect 2 was really good, and I don't even hate Mass Effect 3 as much as some people seem to. I love Mass Effect 3. In fact, Mass Effect 3 has some of the best, most epic moments in the entire series. I mean, it's kind of the, would it be the climax, I guess? Is that how it climax? It's been a while since I went to school, so I'm a little dumb. That's when shit hits the fan. That's the correct terminology, right? When shit hits the fan. But yeah, out of all of the games on this list, this has gotta be, as I'm just now thinking about it, the longest game that I replayed the most, if I'm counting all 3 games. Because they're all individually very long, but obviously playing all 3 of them, I mean, they're giant RPGs that take place in like the entire universe, but it still happens every few years. I just get that itch to replay through them again. Most recently, I played through the remade version. I forget exactly, the Mass Effect remake trilogy or whatever they called it. I played it with my wife, who had never played the games before, and she really loved it as well. And we've already started talking about maybe playing it again a little bit. Maybe we could just pick it back up. It's just like a 120-hour commitment. It's no big deal. But yeah, I gotta replay it again because there's still characters in the game I haven't married yet. I was always a Tali person. Tali Zora, who was married the first time through, and then I think I went with Liara the second time. I guess you don't get married. I'm talking like this is Harvest Moon. You just have sex. I don't know. Maybe you're a little too busy with the world being taken over by giant robotic aliens to have a wedding ceremony, maybe. But next time I play, I've been thinking about it. I might want to go for Jack.
Okay, what the fuck?
Jack, right? Like that's kind of out of left field for me. Like that would be cool. Let's go with Jack. Anyway, I'm just sort of rambling at this point. These games are some of my favorite games ever, and I'm always itching to replay them again. Man, I freaking love this game. The Simpsons Hit and Run. This is another one that I replay a lot, but I don't actually beat very often. I have beaten it once. I don't even know if I could get footage of this at this point, but in the most early days on my channel, before I really had established the kind of almost AVGN style videos that I did at that point really early on, I had this thing that I called the March Gamers Challenge.
This is a response to Peanut Butter Gamers March Gamers Challenge,
where I challenged myself and anyone watching to pick up games that they hadn't beaten before and beat them. Just pick it up where you left off and play all the way through.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna make a video response to Peanut Butter Gamers video about his March challenge.
One of the games I did for that video was Hit and Run, Simpsons Hit and Run. I had played it so many different times, but I'd never gotten all the way through it, partially because it's a harder game than you would expect. Some of the missions, especially as you get further into the game, are pretty damn difficult. And it's also a much longer game than you'd think. But despite only beating it the one time, I'm constantly picking it back up and playing through the first like 3 or 4 levels. By far the best Simpsons game, although not actually the only Simpsons game. I have another Simpsons game coming up, but this is the best Simpsons game by far. I think that's a fairly non-controversial opinion. People call this game a Grand Theft Auto.
I've never played this.
But honestly, it's not really like Grand Theft Auto at all.
Why is Lisa driving?
And do little missions. You can get out of your car like in a Grand Theft Auto, and you can kick people. And I guess that's crime, right? I guess you can steal people's cars too, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's barely no reason to ever do that because the random people cars suck. You might as well just use the ones you unlock. It's really not like a Grand Theft Auto at all, in my opinion, other than the fact that you're kind of in an open world sort of, and you drive around. That's pretty much it. The driving mechanics in this game in particular, I remember being really, really fun. Well, I shouldn't say remember. I mean, I say that like I haven't played it a million times. It is really, really fun. Easy to pick back up too because it's super funny and it seems pretty like at first low challenge. It's just driving around. It's easy to pick up and play. You can't really forget how to play it. And if you want to keep going further and further again, it gets pretty challenging. Great game. I'm looking at the camera even though it's not on. It's a great game. It's a great game. Next, I have a little game. You may have heard of it before, but I don't know. It's kind of obscure. A little series, a little game here. It's called Mario 64. This is the DS version, but also the N64 version also. I mean, realistically, this is probably the game that I have played the most hours in, especially if you count Mario Chaos Edition on the streams and videos we used to do of that game. Oh my god. Every now and then I still wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it in like a cold sweat. If I had to only pick one version of Super Mario 64, it would be the original, but I do still love this DS remake. I love what they did with it. Talked about this before in our remakes video, but I love that they actually added new things to it, adding the extra characters and the different stars that you can get. But realistically, the classic version with better controls is the 64
I forgot
version.
about
It is the one I played
Yoshi's
the most.
Fire,
It's always
bro.
been my favorite Mario game. Again, I really love Galaxy. It's super chill, but if I could only pick one Mario game to ever exist and never have played any other Mario games, it would by far be Mario 64. Another game that's just super easy to pick up and play. I mean, you can master the controls and do crazy speed runs and stuff, or you can just kind of go through at your own pace and have a good time. It's super, super great, and it's easy to replay. Okay, next I have, oh wait, no, just one. The Legend of Zelda
Goomba.
Skyrim. I mean, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. This box is pretty boring, honestly. Bethesda, what is this? PC DVD. If we were going by games that I have put the most hours in, this could be at the top. Maybe topped by one other game at the bottom of this pile here. But this has got to be at least in the top 5, if not the top 3. It's just so easy to pick up Skyrim and play through and make a new character. I probably made a million new characters. Unlike other games that on this list that I have replayed a lot and only beaten once, maybe twice, if at all. I've beaten this game probably 5-6 times, but I've played it way more times than that. I wonder how many times I've gone through the first few steps of the main dragon missions where you go up to High Hrothgar and learn the ways of the voice. I've probably done that quest line 25 times, maybe. That might be an underestimate, if anything. I'm constantly making new characters.
Yo, what up?
My favorite type of character to make is
Glove World.
basic, sort of like kind of sneaky bow guy, but also a sword. Got that one-hand sword.
going
with the
pretty good.
torch,
How you
and then
doing?
you got the bow and arrow, kind of like the Aragorn kind of character style. But I also make mages a lot, which I don't do in most other games like this. I really like playing the mage. Just the fire effects when you're like blasting people, especially if you get
Just like watching videos. I was thinking about playing the Elder Scrolls Arena and Smash.
extra and new spells. I've even made necromancers before. Like, I've messed around with so many different types of classes that I don't normally play as, just because I played this game so many freaking times. And I mentioned mods. Mods obviously breathe an entire new life into this game. I mean, how old is this game? I don't even want to know. 2006? Oh, wait, no. But yeah, over a decade old, almost 15 years at this point, and people still play the hell out of this game just because of all the mods and different things that are added. Always been a humongous Elder Scrolls fan. I really
Yeah, they
really
like
hope
remake the entire games.
I don't really have very many high hopes. I was not a big Starfield fan. Fallout 4 was okay, I guess. I really hope it's good. I'm just kind of not getting my hopes up. I mean, who knows even when it's gonna come out. I could be dead by the time it comes out. We could all be dead by the time it comes out. Next I have The Wind Waker. Out of all the Zelda games, and I probably could have realistically put most of the Zelda games on this list, but I felt like I'd just keep it down to the I think it was just the 2, right? But of all the Zelda games that I have replayed the most, it is Wind Waker by far. I get an itch to play this game all the time. I recently did a video of it on my Peanut Butter Gamer channel, like a full video of
The
entire
remake
game.
for-
I want to say maybe 2022.
This version was so sick because like there's bottles around the world. It's kind of like Dark Souls. Like people like leave messages in bottles and you like find their bottles and they might have like a screenshot, I think even.
Something like that. Normally when I do a video about a game, I
That
am
was
not
so
interested
cool.
in playing that game again for a very long time. Just the sheer amount of hours that goes into not only recording and playing the game, but mostly writing the script, editing everything. I'm just kind of sick of it by that point, even if it's a game I really love. No lie, I wanted to play Wind Waker again right after I uploaded the video. Instantly after. I played through the HD remake for that game. Which,
Skyward Sword was like that.
one. And the entire time I was playing it, I kept thinking, man, I wanted to play through the original one after this. And I did actually. I think I got it on my Steam Deck right after I finished that video. I didn't go all the way through it again immediately after, but I got pretty far. And then even then, I recently played through this on this channel on live streams, on my YouTube streams. And that was like only a few months ago when we finished that. I am just replaying this game all the time. I kind of want to play it again. You know, it's just one of those games. Super special for me, and it has become slowly, very slowly over time, my all-time favorite video game. It has topped Majora's Mask for me, I think, officially when I did do that video, and again, I want to say 2022. Next, a pretty underrated game, in my opinion, I have Kirby's Superstar. This is another game that me and my brother played a lot when we were young. I don't even really have that much to say about it. There was multiple different, like, sort of mini-games in this game. They have that, like, iconic ninja game, the game where you can try to punch through the entire world, but they also had some full-fledged...
I was just learning about this. There's a not hidden, there was a game that they never released. Kagori Mansion, I think. There was supposed to be another game. It's like 7 games. There's supposed to be an 8th one, I think. It's like a Kirby horror game where like your mouth is sewn shut and you need to like go around. I don't even remember. I was watching like Sakurai's videos. He was talking about it.
Kirby game modes. The one in particular that we liked was the treasure hunting one. You and a friend, if you want, can go along and like try to find all these hidden buried treasures. We always had a lot of fun trying to go through and finding all of them. I remember the first time we actually did play all the way through it and got all of the treasures.
Whoa.
It was super cool. A nice bonding moment with me and my brother. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have had it this high in the list. If anything, I feel like we played Final Fight 2 and Contra 3 more often than this, so I'm not sure why I included it this high, but this was one one of the games we replayed the most, and I'll still play this game to this day. One of the more underrated games on this list, I have to say. And it aged really well. I don't know if this game aged as well, but it is still one of my favorite games. The Simpsons Bart's Nightmare. This game is super replayable, simply just...
I hope I don't die right away. You just taunt. Oh. No way, that's not a kill. Oh god.
Just because of the way the game works. You start out as Bart, and he's doing like a paper or something for school, trying to pull an all-nighter like the night before. Been there, done that. But he falls asleep, and then he has a dream where he's trying to find all the pages of his paper.
I saw this game.
You find the pages, you jump on them, and then you go through one of the two doors and do a minigame. If you complete the minigame, you get one of the pages back. Long story short, eventually you either win and you get an A+, or you fail, and however many pages you collected during the dream, you get a score based on that. So it's really easy to pick up and play. I'll pick it up and play it just through one time, just to see how well I do. I'm pretty decent at the game at this point. I feel like if I picked it up and played it, I could
It's like
get
a
a good
roguelike.
score in one try. But it is fairly cryptic, especially if you've never played it before. You are not going to realize what you're supposed to do in some of these mini games. I did eventually have to look them up when I was just determined to beat this game for my video that I did a long time ago on PBG. I haven't put as many hours into this game as other games like obviously Skyrim, Mass Effect, etc. But only because it's not a long game. It's a short game. It's a low commitment game, and I probably played it like 50 times. Love this game. I gotta play this on stream again at some point soon, just as an excuse to play it again. See what kind of grade I can get. Next, I have Resident Evil 4. I also have both the Wii version of this game, which I really like, underrated. I love using the Wiimote as the aiming system. And of course, the remake that just came out, which I'm pretty sure I own digitally. All four amazing games. You really can't go wrong with them. I don't really have that much to say about Resident Evil 4 that I haven't already said. What's that the cliche? Like the start of a top 10 segment. Number 10. What is there to say about Resident Evil 4 that hasn't already been said? And then they say some stuff after that. This was the first Resident Evil game I ever played. I was pretty young when the first like 1 through 3 came out, and I didn't have PlayStations, so. But this one came out of the GameCube. I was very excited for it, and I remember getting my dad to buy it for me since I was not allowed to buy an M-rated game, and I thought I'd have better luck with him than my mom. It worked, baby. Still one of my favorite games of all time, and it's not really short, but
I gotta pee. So.
but it always feels short to me when I play it. I just have so much fun. There's a nice mix of horror and action, a lot of really cool bosses. It just never gets old at any point. And I'm always down for a Resident Evil 4 replay. I feel like this is one of those games that if you don't really care about it that much,
I started playing this game. It's pretty good.
you probably get sick of boomers like me talking about
I got
how
like
great it is.
kind
So I'll
of
go ahead and stop
bored.
there. Next, we have The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This has
The
always been up
original
there
was
for one of my
good.
favorite games of all time. Again, another one I've talked about a lot, but
Luigi's
I can't
Mansion
do a
is
video
awesome.
about replaying
Luigi's
games
Mansion
or the
is
games
good,
that
I
I've
beat
replayed the
that.
most without including some games that I've already talked about, obviously. As much as I love Skyrim, and it's probably a better game, arguably, than Oblivion, at least certain aspects of it are, you know, more, like the combat is more interesting than Oblivion. Oblivion's a lot of slicing, just hitting people, and nothing's really happening. There's not a lot of impact to your swings. Skyrim, while not being like an amazing first-person action game, it does feel more like real combat than Oblivion at times. But with just the right amount of imagination, Oblivion really shines. And I love role-playing and like trying to get invested in my character, and Oblivion is the perfect kind of game for that. There's also so much added content in this game with DLCs and things, and this Game of the Year edition that I have comes with all of them included. This game is so huge that even someone like me who's sunk hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of hours into it, I'm still pretty sure there's a lot of quests that I've never done before. I get kind of depressed thinking about the Elder Scrolls now because, I don't know, I just have very little faith in Bethesda these days. And while I'll be the first person in line to get Elder Scrolls 6, I'm just kind of wondering, is it going to be as good as it used to be? I don't think it is. But I'm also just setting my expectations low, admittedly, so that I protect myself from being hurt. I
don't know, dude. Like, this is like the common opinion that like Starfield sucked ass. I don't think it's like a bad game. I thought it was like amazing what it could do, and like my PC just like can't handle
I
it.
just was not into Starfield at all. I thought it was super disappointing. Maybe Bethesda can still nail Elder Scrolls 6 though. It's more. I mean,
Like
it's
there
a
are a
long
lot of bad parts,
It's not
but
a new series for them. Please let it be good. Please just let it be finished. How long ago?
I
did
should
they
try
announce
running
it? Like
Starfield.
6 years ago they announced it. Why? They only recently announced that they were working on it. Anyways, it's not a Bethesda rant. Let's move on to a game that
I don't
will be
like the
perfect and
focus
is
on like
perfect forever.
building
Luigi's Mansion, one of my
forts or
favorite
whatever,
launch
but
titles of all time. In fact, I might do a video about my favorite launch titles at some
I
point.
love
We'll
this
see.
game.
Luigi's Mansion is perfect to replay because one, obviously, it's super charming, super funny. I love Luigi. I love the Haunted Mansion ghost vibe, but it's also not a very long commitment. It's not a hard game to beat. You could beat this game in a day if you dedicate enough
Yeah,
time,
beat it.
dedicate enough of the day to it. The other Luigi's Mansions games are not bad. I like the Switch one in particular. I didn't like the 3DS one, New Moon, quite as much. But this one still stands out to me as the best, and in particular, the reason why is, first of all, you're not going
I
from
thought so,
one
too.
mansion to another like you do in New Moon. Even the hotel in the Switch
the
version,
reason why I thought this was the best is like when you're sucking up the ghosts, you're just like holding down the control stick. Like in the new games, they add like new concepts, like you press A and gotta like do these other things, but I don't know, I felt better to just like suck up the ghosts with the
it just
control
doesn't feel the
stick.
same because you're kind of going down the different levels and etc. The original Luigi's Mansion has that sort of Resident Evil 1 vibe where it all takes place
Yeah.
in this big mansion that you're unlocking areas to as you go through, and you're revisiting areas and moving through it. It just like the setting itself of the mansion is almost like a character in and of itself, and you really grow attached to the mansion as opposed to like,
I don't
you
know
know, in
about
New
that.
Moon, especially when you're moving from mansion to mansion. Who cares? You're never going back there again. It doesn't matter. I'm always excited to re-explore through the mansion in this game, but also probably more importantly, the boss ghosts in this game are their own characters. It drives me crazy. Obviously, there's some generic ghost enemies that are like faceless and they all look the same, but the actual main ghosts, they're real characters, and that really bothers me in the newer games that they don't have that, at least nowhere near to the extent that this game did. Like the boss characters are the actual people who lived in the mansion before. The ghosts of the people who previously lived there. Like that's so cool. I don't know why they went away from that. The graphics in this game are absolutely timeless. They still look gorgeous to me to this day. The music is great, and again, I'm just a humongous Luigi's fan. I'm a humongous Luigi fan. My voice is really going hoarse right now. And again, like half the games we were talking about, I want to play this game now just because I've been talking about it again. It's one of those games you can pick up like every October around Halloween and play through. Again, super small commitment, so it's easy to replay. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it. This might be one of the longest gaming ramble videos we've done so far. At least close to it. If you want to see one of the other ones we did, why not check out the games that I loved the most as a kid, or obviously the prequel to this video, the games I will probably never play again. If you enjoyed this kind of video, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments what games that you replay the most, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Alright, so YouTube's like getting mad at me about ads.
One high
I think I gotta like disable this one. Yeah.
quality PC games, we
That's why I don't like see the ads. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes there are slow days, but I work hard anyway.
What the fuck? Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. That is kind of cool. This game doesn't look bad. Alright, so I'm thinking I'm gonna start up Starfield. I probably can't run it, but let's see if I can run it. I was surprised like Elden Ring was working. I don't know, as someone who never played No Man's Sky, I think Starfield's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm gonna try running this game, it's probably not gonna work.